All right, welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom. Should be.
And I'm Sicko George.
Yeah, George is sick. Tom is sick. Everybody here's sick.
We've been kissing. I'm not gonna lie. Don't judge us. So, anybody have a good day today?
I doubt it. Let's look at. I'm gonna bring up the board. Today was.
I'm definitely on today. Oh, just so you guys know, I don't know if you're in Discord, but I ended up selling my CleanSpark. I took a $5,000 loss. Hello.
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 All right.
Exciting news. But here's my question.
Go.
Here should be your question. Can you put a question up right away?
Sure.
Got a question already. I'm already ready to go with a question.
All right, we're going to do a poll.
Talking investing, Tom, yes or no? That's not the question.
Did that?
I'm going to close that poll. Okay, the poll is the market going to go up or down on Monday? That's the question. Is it going to go up or down on Monday? That's the question. How's everybody doing? Any XRP people in here? XRP in the house? Or did they all quit because they made all that money? Oh, here's a good one. We'll get to the comments here in a second. As you're doing that, Tom, please do an NNDM update. Is that Nano Dimensions?
Nano.
Hearing a lot of good things about it now. Somebody added a whole bunch of who added Bitfarms? I added. Last dip was 104. I still think it's going below $1. Sorry guys. I have a buy order in at 78 cents. I'm joking. I'm joking. Did you get that up?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Sometimes I have technical difficulties with
Blue Dope has a really interesting question.
All right.
What do you think about Marathon's largest miner provider went bankruptcy?
Yes, we're definitely talking about that today. And they're also they do some business with your buddies over at
Compass?
Yes. Compute North.
Oh, they're scumbags. If anybody in here, or I guess I can ask this question. Is anybody in here mining at Compass? And if you are, I just want to know how it's going. And has it been everything that you thought it would be? That's the question. Tom, tell me what's happening with Bitcoin. Please, Tom.
I'm fixing this.
Grab the magic 8-ball. I pulled all my money out of the market 3 weeks ago, and it's been a lot less stressful. Amen, RB. Amen.
Well, that was not bad timing. But the question is, when are you putting it back in?
I've been out since, when was that? The July, like 4th or 5th. Yeah, July 4th or 5th. But I mean, I've been jumping in for onesie twosie plays. You know what I mean? Yeah. Onesie twosies.
You've been.
I heard an interesting thing.
There's one thing you hold on to. Tell them what you hold.
XRP, baby.
That's it.
Only thing I have now, my bags. How's it say? My bags are packed with XRP. Every week now, I've been buying a certain amount of money every single week, and I haven't stopped. I've been doing that for a long time now. So I've averaged in pretty decently. Over a year I've been doing that, Tom.
Has it been a year? Man.
Yeah, it's been yeah.
That was a absolute year of dollar cost averaging. That's the only that you were totally committed to that.
Well, and the only reason why I was committed to it was Uphold has this funny thing about if you put in a lot of money, that you can't take it out, or it's something stupid for like a year or something. And I was like, well, that's not good. So I just been do a smaller amount every single week. But it saved my butt, honestly, too, because in the course of that, think about it, it went up and down, and all over the place.
That's dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
That is the actual.
But and I will tell you one thing though, when it got like stupid low in the 20s, I started doubling up my weeks. You know what I mean? Like I bought like 4 weeks every single day. I bought the max I could buy because I knew that was just a really good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you had a surge in the middle.
Yeah, right. I stopped at like 70 cents, 72 cents is when I said, you know what, that's a little risk for me. And I stopped.
Merge.
Yeah.
Then the surge.
But is there anybody else that thinks XRP is going to do well? Wow, look at this. We're almost split for going up or down.
Well, down is winning. I mean, it was down. I got to tell you, it was down Wednesday afternoon. It was down. Yesterday was way down, and today was horrendous.
Listen to this. Yes, I'm using Uphold to buy XRP in United States, but you can use Crypto.com to buy XRP outside of the United States. How about that one?
I did not know. You can use... Oh, but you can't do that in the United States.
No, I found that interesting, huh? Think about that. Why are they suppressing it only in the United States? Makes me wonder.
Yeah, none of the... Well...
I'm not going to get into politics. I shouldn't say this, but reliable sources are saying that...
Are you about to get... Can I just ask you before you say this? Yeah. You just said you're not going to get into politics. Are you about to get into politics?
No, I'm not getting... I'm just going to get into something going on around the world. Okay. It has nothing to do with politics.
So be it.
Well, maybe it has a little thing to do with politics. Let's just say... Here, you guys figure out who I'm talking about. Let's just say somebody sells a lot of natural gas and they want to sell it to somebody else, but they're not having permission to do that. I'm not saying who those people are, but they have more gallons of natural gas than I do. And by the way, I have no natural gas. Well, actually I do. I might have a few gallons. Sorry. It just led into that. So Tom, I didn't do it, but I almost bought my position today, and I almost wish I would have. Only reason I didn't is because I'm a little nervous. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
You know the thing that we can't talk about.
Oh.
Sorry, guys. We have we're inside trading with one another. But if we don't tell you who it is, then we're not inside trading, right? We should have done
that 4 days ago.
I know. I'm so pissed. The day we talked about it, Tom. Sorry.
I wanted to hedge my bets against. I thought I got this Fed situation. I don't understand why the market's tanking since the Fed meeting. So I was gonna do that. Was gonna be my hedge, and I'm like, I don't need to hedge. There's no way it's gonna be a point, which it wasn't. But the market tanked anyway. So I can kick myself for that. Is the chat not working, or is nobody have anything?
No, we got a lot of stuff going on.
Really?
Don't make me laugh, Colton.
I think I can't see any of it.
And can you? And just so you know, is your slowly could be different? It could be my fast, and your fast could be my slow.
Oh, now see.
Did you hear that? We had a miner in the house, by the way. What are you mining now? Light T Tech, I don't know, LVL Tech said, I'm a crypto miner for life, but I'm self-host. I want to know what he's mining now. Is he mining Bitcoin, or is he mining what is he mining since Ethereum's gone? Think about that. Ethereum fired 1 million people, and no one's talking about that. They fired 1 million people. Am I still up?
All right, Barry. I see you right now, Barry. Thank you. Is that Tom's chat's not working? I think I had that poll that I made, and it was in the way, and I couldn't see anything. So I'm back on the chat.
We're back almost 50-50 up and down, by the way. Trump told us this was coming. Told us what? Oh, hell. I still think we got a lot to go. Let's see. I said 30%. The market was going down 30%. How much more we got, Tom?
To go down in the market?
Yeah, I said it's going down 30%, and we've already gone down 15, 12.
We're since you said that, I'm not sure, but we're down a bunch since you've said that. And I mean, we didn't test. The Dow, which I shouldn't even, it's not even fair for me to use this because I've said 1,000 times I don't pay attention to the Dow. But since it serves my purpose, I got to get on the 1 day. The Dow hit a new low today. Make a short story long. Go to the 1 week. So the Dow on June, so in the middle, the summer lows, the middle of June, everything hit a bottom here in the middle of June. And you can see today the Dow took that out. So new low today. The others didn't quite get there, but we're almost at the lows on the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. So we're getting very close to retesting the lows. It looks like we're going lower. I don't know what to say. I want to read a quote real quick. Go ahead.
Because Sanity Eclipse wrote this, and I 100% agree with what he's saying, by the way. There's so many Wall Street experts want you to panic sell. They want to skip up your shares, I guess coin. Well, I guess it's shares on the Bitcoin miners. Blackcoin wants your Bitcoin cheap. Institution wants their shares cheap. And they will do anything in their power to get you to panic sell during these times. Bitcoin was the first opportunity that retail could get in before institution, and they absolutely hate that. Amen, amen, amen.
Is this in the chat?
Yeah, that was in, if you want to join our Discord, please join our Discord. You'll be very happy.
Oh, welcome. Join the Discord. Feel free.
I agree with that. But my thing is, there's going to be a lot of pain, but my question is, how long does the pain last? Does the pain last for 2 months, 3 years? You know what I mean? But I think crypto's going to get smashed. I don't even think it's there yet.
This is where you and I have a difference. First of all, Alex is saying the monthly 10-year has no level of resistance on the SPY. So that's not good. I'm just catching up right now. So,
and just so you know, you still got to be in it if you want to make money. This is what pains me. We can all sit here and say we're on the sidelines, but if you want to make money, you got to get in. The thing is, you got to get in and got to get out. I only poke that when I have feelings, just so you guys know. That's an inside joke to somebody.
If that's what I did, if anybody saw my video today, it was a little bit discombobulated. So it was a bit of a rant, but that's kind of what I did my video on today. It's all about, right now we're going to get the market stinks. The market stinks. Everything's testing its lows. But I'm going to go back to the daily because there are always relief rallies. And that's what we need to be looking for. So that's what I try to look for. So for, when you're watching the video, whether it's my video or anybody's video, you got to understand if they're talking short term or long term, because right now, I mean, at the moment, obviously, we're a year into a down market. So the best we can do is look for some relief rallies. I don't short stocks. I don't day trade. So, I had some people asking me, well, why, you keep saying buying opportunity. How come you never say to sell? And I do not short stocks. And I'm definitely not going to short a stock that I have a high level of conviction in. I'm just going to keep dollar cost averaging into it. I do use some calls to come in and out. Oh, that's George. George said nice.
So I got one for you, Tom. You ready?
Go.
It's a question from Eric was, where is the store of value?
Well, no. See, the question is, when is the store of value?
Yeah.
And these are, it's like that thing you just read was saying. These are the tests. This has been a down market for a long time now. We're a year. Bitcoin's not quite a year into a down market, but every time that has happened in the past, it's been the ultimate buying opportunity. So the question is, is that now broken forever, or are we just in that part of the cycle? And you never know. And the stock market's the same way. This is the 100th recession that we've had, and it's like I can tell you, and I have not been around for all of them, despite however old I may look. Every time it's like, oh, this one's different. Oh, we're not coming back from this one. The market's done. The market's dead. So, and every single time, obviously, up until now, every single time, that has not been true. So I feel like it's the same thing with Bitcoin. Yeah, cryptocurrencies got crushed. Bitcoin got hit hard. And this is the down part of the cycle. But there's the other side. And I don't know when that is. Is it 3 months from now? Is it a year from now? Is it after the halving? Is it, who knows? But, with it, you guys know I do the miners a lot. So I'm investing in miners.
Whoa. Tom, you do what? You do the miners a lot? It just doesn't even sound right, but I'll let it slide. Go on.
I invest in the Bitcoin miners.
Okay.
A lot. And it's been a beating. Like this week was brutal. The last 3 days were brutal. I will say, on a positive note, it looks like the momentum down on CleanSpark has finally stopped. CleanSpark is way down from its summer lows. So, and I'm going to do a video on this. I've been asked 100 questions. Everybody's going to disagree with my opinion anyway, so it doesn't matter. The executive compensation thing, it cost CleanSpark $100 million in market cap. I mean, it doesn't, and that's a temporary. So you have to ask yourself. For me, this is how I ask myself: did the new investor compensation package, did that change the long-term outlook for CleanSpark? Did you think they were going to succeed, and now because of that, now they're not going to succeed, or they're going to have a different level of success? And if the answer to that is no, then that is a short-term event. And if the market has a negative reaction to a short-term event, for me, that's a buying opportunity. So CleanSpark got decimated on that news. It took out its all-time low by far. So I bought. That's what I bought the most of this week. I bought a bunch of stuff. This was, in my opinion, this was a good buying opportunity. And, George might be right. The next 5,000 points might be down. So I will say, I bought a lot of CleanSpark, but for everything else, I was very patient. I am just buying I've slowed down my dollar cost averaging. So I still buy. I'm being a lot more patient because first of all, I've already bought more than I ever expected to buy. But as it continues to go down, I'm going to keep dollar cost averaging in. I won't, if it keeps hitting the same number, if we keep going up and down and hitting the same number, I'm not going to add anymore. But if we hit new lows, if we substantially take out these lows and hit new lows, I mean, if Bitfarms gets down to 90 or 80 cents, I'm going to be backing up the truck. I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't. It did hit its new low today. It didn't close at its new low, but it got under $1.04. It got to $1.02. So that is Bitfarms' new low. $1.02. So a lot of these miners are setting new lows. Yet some of them, that's a chart I did in a video a few days ago. Some of the miners are not setting new lows yet. There's a bunch that are way far away from their summer lows, and those are. So here's two that acted very differently. Marathon and Riot are the two biggest market caps. They're both still way, way off of their lows from the summer. Marathon was down 10%. Now, I think there's a reason for that, and somebody already mentioned it. Riot was down 1 penny today. So Riot.
Poor Marathon.
Yeah, well, Marathon has not now yet another excuse for why they're not going to do what they said they were going to do, because like we kind of touched on at the top.
We all knew Marathon wasn't going to do what Marathon said they were going to do. It didn't matter.
Well, they had their major partner go file bankruptcy.
Oh, blah,
yesterday.
blah, blah. Like they didn't know.
I don't know if it's like they're cursed. Everything they touch does not go as planned. So I have a question.
Who was this person? Who was this company?
Compute North.
And what do they do?
They're like they co-host. They're a data center. So like everything that they're doing in Texas, and I don't know if it's everything. I think it was 280 megawatts worth of what they're doing was with Compute North. And there's a bunch of the publicly traded Bitcoin miners that have deals with Compute North. Marathon has the biggest one out of all of them, so they're taking the biggest hit. Now, they filed for a reorganization, so theoretically,
shouldn't have hurt them at all. What? How is it hurting them?
My answer to that is only that, if they fail to perform this month, I think we have our built-in excuse.
Oh, yeah, they're going to not perform, yeah.
So they did better. Last month was their first month where they had forward progress. So we'll see.
They got all the talent in the world. Yeah, I think Marathon will end up buying them out. Or something crazy like that. Uh-oh. Marathon's about to sell.
Alex is saying what?
They got 10,200 or something like that, right, Tom?
Oh.
Based on your video.
Yes. So Alex is saying they're about to sell their HODL. So there's only 2 companies left that have not sold. And it's Hut and I just don't see them selling. But I agree, Alex. I think Marathon is about to start selling. They have not made the same type of statements. They haven't had the conviction that, we're not changing our policy. But I disagree. They may do so because they have to, but why sell at 19,000? I mean, they've been holding since the beginning.
Is that a question? Hang on, let me put my hand up.
Yes, George. We'll take
because
George.
It's better than selling at 10,000.
Well.
Oh no, you didn't. Oh, yes, I did.
Only the future knows the answer to that. But in a world where over the last year we have fluctuated from 69,000 down to 17,000, I would not sell at 19. It might even though it may turn out to be the right thing to do if we drop down to 15 or 12 or 10.
We're almost even, by the way, 50-50 on Monday. Weather's going up or down, up or down, up or down.
So Alex is saying their balance sheet is telling. Yeah, I mean, if they're running out of liquidity and they're down to their cryptocurrency, then that's going to be that. They're going to have to sell. So
all I know is Black Tuesday. What is it? Black Monday? The day that the stock market in October, the first Monday there.
I knew what it was until you just said. Back in '87, you're talking about.
87. What? It was like the first Tuesday, right?
First Tuesday after the first Monday in November.
Yeah. Yeah. No, in October.
I know. I'm just kidding.
That is going to be the day that we're going to see some pain, guys. I don't know. It might just be you're on the toilet, but that's the day that you're going to see pain. Kevin bought NNDM, by the way.
Meet Kevin did.
Yeah, he just
welcome,
wrote.
Welcome to the party.
Just so you know, Kevin, are you still talking to him or no? Meet Kevin.
He's
Meet Kevin's a subscriber, just so you guys know. Question. Can you tell me about this Nano Dimension thing?
Yeah, I'm going to get to Nano Dimensions because somebody's asked several times. I just want to answer Martin. What is your average? He's asking, what is your average cost in Hut 8 and Bitfarms? So I got a bunch of different accounts, so I can't tell you off the top of my head exactly what it is across all my accounts. But I will tell you, I'm way down in both of those. Bitfarms in more so even than Hut 8. Bitfarms, I have not sold a share since I started buying them. So I'm way down in Bitfarms. Hut 8, I've taken profits. They had a bigger run up, and I did take a lot of profits, and then that was before I started just saying I'm just going to hold everything, and now I buy and sell options to take profits. So I'm a little closer on Hut 8, but on Bitfarms, I mean, I could be, I don't know,
$4,
it's over
$5.
It's definitely over $3, could be $4. So I have to wait a long time before I'm up on
Yeah, but he's never selling those, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not selling them at 4. I'm not selling them at 8. So, but yeah. I'm probably $3.50 on actually probably on and more than that on Hut. Black Monday, yes, that's right.
I thought it was on Tuesday. Why do they call it on Black Monday?
Was it a Tuesday?
I don't know. I just know it was in '87.
I think it was a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now that you say that.
I always know that people like to repeat history.
Scott is saying they have 71 million in cash. Who's they? Is that we talk about Marathon still?
Monday, October 19th, 1987.
Did you look it up?
Yep. We saw a 20% in a single day in the United States.
And it's funny. Does it say what the numbers were? Look what the Dow was when that happened.
Oh, it was like so low.
Yeah, it was like 1,000 or 2,000.
No, it was like 8 or 9.
Oh, it was not 8 or 9,000 back then.
It wasn't?
No.
All I know is, that's why I said I thought we could see a one-day 30% crash.
No, that is not happening.
Well, just because of all the things that they have in place.
On Friday, October 16th, the Dow Jones fell 108 points to close at 2,246. I mean...
So if you would have bought before it or after it, you'd be a rich person.
I don't know
right
why
now.
it's telling me Friday, October 16th. That was not the big day. Black Monday was the big day. But in any event, even a few weeks later, it was still in the 2,200 range. Yeah, I mean, we're still 15x from that right now. It's crazy. And it is crazy, and that's why you buy and hold, because, you know, for in the 90s, everybody was always saying, oh, even early 2000s, oh, Dow 20,000, Dow's going to hit 20,000, and that sounded like nonsense talk. And, I mean, now we're over 30,000. So this is what happens over time. You know, unless of course, you guys think this is the time where everything's broken and it's never going to get fixed. But even if you think that, are you really going to invest that way? Because if everything is broken and it's never going to get fixed, then does it really matter? You might as well invest, like, ultimately, if you buy and hold, things are going to get fixed.
I have to do something right now. Ready? And if somebody recognizes the sound, they'll know how I think. You ready? This just in. Hurricane is going to hit Tom and George. Hurricane is going to hit Tom and George. It's really hitting us this time, Tom.
Well,
it's going to be a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5.
I will believe it. when it gets here. These hurricanes do whatever they want. Alex is saying the market's never not recovered yet. The market's never not recovered. Never. Exactly. That's I agree. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but
okay,
admit,
here's
Alex,
what I'm going
that.
to argue this one. I'm sorry, I'm arguing this one. You ready?
Go.
Hey, buddy. From Justin. Okay, I think though, I don't think they're going to pump $10 trillion into the marketplace again like they just did. That's why I don't think it's going to recover.
I think the Fed will be doing quantitative easing in less than 12 months from right now. Probably less than, maybe 8 or 9 months. And then here's the next thing. You also have a technology shift because no one shops anymore. No one does. They just order it online and have people deliver it to them. Well,
am I wrong?
The economy's changing, but that doesn't mean that the market's going down forever, right? The market's based on profitability. So there's still a lot of companies that make a lot of money, a shockingly lot of money.
And then I would actually say there's more companies not making money than there are companies making money.
That could be true in the entire market, but if you take all the big companies, pardon me, everybody, I got a cold, so my voice comes.
We can allocate their profit across the board?
I'm just saying, when you have a company that makes $20 billion a quarter, you can have an awful lot of companies that lose $100,000 or $1 million.
I have to say something. I love this name, Pooh Brain. Tom, do you think the Fed is on the wrong path?
I think that the Fed, at this point, they're doing the only thing they can do. I think that they missed their window. Somebody was actually leaving a comment last night, and it was spot on. It might have been you, Alex. Transitory inflation. Everybody remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just transitory. It's just transitory. That was like the word of the year, and guess what? It's still here. So they had an opportunity, but if you want to say they ignored it, or if they miscalculated, or whatever the case may be, they got to the party late. Now they've showed up. They're here, and they're gonna do what they got to do. I mean, we just had 375 basis point rate hikes. We've never had that. So it's not
never ever.
I mean, maybe back in the early, not in the last 40 years.
Okay.
Possibly, you go back to Paul Volcker in the very early 80s. But over the last 30, 40 years, nothing even close to that has ever happened. So they're now talking tough every time they get a chance, and they're going to keep raising rates until they get as high as they can go. And unfortunately, that's not very much higher, right? They're not going to go to 6%. They can't do it. And even if they go above 5, they can only do that for a very short window of time, and then they got to turn it around and start lowering rates. So we all know where the end of this is. So I feel like, there's not much they can do. And Zero Views is saying we need Fed to quantitative ease, otherwise Bitcoin won't recover. And the Fed is going to get to a point right now. There's no question for the Fed. They have a dual mandate, and maintaining price stability.
It's in the secret spot.
Avoiding inflation right now is their number one concern, because inflation is huge. But at some point, that's not going to be their number one concern. Their number one concern is going to be the economy tanking, the market tanking, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously this is my personal opinion, but I think that's where we're going to get to, by next January, February, March. That's going to be their bigger problem. And they're going to start pumping money back into the economy. Like this short, tiny little window here is the only time in the last 20 years the Fed hasn't been pumping. Now, they accelerated that when COVID hit and all that went through that. they started putting in unprecedented amounts, but they shut the world's economy down. So something had to be done. Barry is asking, isn't Powell talking again today? I don't know. Well, at least the market's closed, so now he can talk all he wants over the weekend. And I just don't work. Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask a poll.
Well, we're almost 50-50. You can close that one.
Oh, wow. That
50-50, 30-30. That's amazing.
Unbelievable. All right, so we're totally split on whether the market's going up or down on Monday. Up. I'm going to finish the poll now. We're finished up 51-49.
Oh,
a decisive win on up.
Huh? Yeah, I leave it in there because I got to cook. Yeah, it's the large one. Yeah. Hey, Tom, where are the tarps? Are they in the storage unit?
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I'm in hurricane preparation mode. Check. That's number 3 on my checklist. Tarps, okay. Plywood's number 2, check. Tom and George, have you ever experienced a market this bad? I haven't. Oh, look at that. We got 2 people from New Zealand. That's awesome.
Welcome. Welcome. Wow, that's a lot of representation.
Tom is going to talk about Nano Dimensions here in a little bit.
I know. I keep missing. I keep getting sidetracked.
Talking about that.
All right. I can't do this poll because it's taking me too long.
So let me get you know what is crazy?
What?
Did you see oil today? Did anybody see that?
Yeah, oil was at $78 at one point today.
Yes.
And the dollar is spiraling upward, and that's what's going on with oil. I mean, you put those charts over each other. Oil's, I mean, it's just reacting, and that's what's happening to Bitcoin, and that's what's happening to the stock market. The dollar's out of control, and you know, part of that is this quantitative tightening. I mean,
well, you heard that there is no quantitative tightening. I mean, okay, yes, they raised the interest rate, but they're still pumping the money in.
Not according to them, they're not. They say that they're decreasing their balance sheet. So,
well, let's see it. 79.39, down 5%.
All right.
That's incredible. And you know what sucks though? Look at how high gas still is. It should be a lot lower than that. They never bring it down when they're supposed to.
So Alex is reminding us back. Fed Chairman Paul Volcker, at one point in 1981, raised interest rates to over 20% in order to beat back the double-digit inflation, unleashing a deep economic recession. Yeah, and that was 51 years ago. So that's the last time we had. And you know, those of you who were around, if you weren't, you know, we had the stagflation situation in the late 70s coming into the 80s. Like, Paul Volcker was forced. Also, our debt was tiny compared to what it is today. So there was a lot of different dynamics back then. Like, Chairman Powell does not have the option to raise the rates to 20% like Paul Volcker did. And,
don't do that. That's funny.
And that's what it did take at that point. I mean, we were in a bad place. So, but that
Think
option's
about that.
no longer on the table.
This is such a crazy market. Crude oil is plummeting, and natural gas is skyrocketing.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense why natural gas just keeps getting beaten down.
No, natural gas is skyrocketing.
I mean, we keep getting beaten down by the price of natural gas, and that affects a lot of people. I mean, that's a lot of people's utility bill. Right? Forget businesses.
It is actually
and all
down
that.
a little bit. It's $6.85.
Powell has raised more than Volcker percent-wise. Well, he started at 0, so.
Ooh, from Israel. Do you know about the red heifers in Israel? Does anybody know about that? Does anybody
I don't
know what I'm talking about? The red heifers. Let's see if anybody knows about it, and I'll talk about it if they do. It's a really, really interesting story, Tom.
It feels biblical to me.
Oy vey, who knows, you know? Tom and I are both Jewish. I don't know if we should tell you that. Can you see my thing?
Yeah, there's no yarmulke on George's head.
Seth knows. I would die for Israel. That was it's the most interesting thing that happened with the red heifers, by the way.
So Alex is asking, what is telling you different? Explain that, because I didn't understand the question. I don't know what you mean by that.
Yeah, I think so too, Sanity. I think Bitcoin. When do you think a real true? We were talking about this, Tom and I. We think Bitcoin can still stay beat up. Don't you think for another year, Tom? I mean, honestly.
I think we could bounce around for a long time. Yes, I do think that. You know, we got the halving coming up at some point, and that's not until 2024.
Yeah.
I really thought, and I'm still gonna stick to this. I think we're gonna be back above 30 by the end of the year. So that's what I think. I think we're gonna be in the 30 to 35 range. I feel like that is gonna hold. I think we'll be there by the end of the year. But if George is right, and you know, it takes us another 2 months to get to the bottom, then I'm going to be wrong, because then there won't be enough time left to get to where I'm saying we're going. So I don't know. It depends. The key we're going to watch right now with the Dow, the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, everything, Bitcoin, everything is testing its lows right now from the summer. So if they all fail that test and the next leg is down big time, then I guess there's more pain to come. I feel like Bitcoin, I feel more confident in Bitcoin than I feel in the market.
You feel more confident in Bitcoin than the US dollar?
The US dollar is spiraling upward. That needs to stop. I mean, I'm going to pull up that chart.
Oh my goodness. It's $1.03 Europe? Wow. 92 cents, Tom. I called it. Remember when I called it?
So
the British pound, I said just give it a matter of time, a few months, and the British pound's going to be worth $1 to the US dollar. I called it at 84 cents.
What's it now?
92.1.
So this is the DXY, and this measures the dollar versus other currencies, and you can see this green line at 103. That's a 20. That was our 20-year high. 20-year high. So this is the 1-day chart. So in the last, since June, we've just spiraled upwards. I mean, we're at 113. It's ridiculous.
Well, and that's, by the way, my friends, this is another reason why I feel Bitcoin is not going to do that well.
You think this is going to keep going up? I mean, this absolutely is crushing Bitcoin. There's no doubt about it. This is holding Bitcoin back right here big time. And I am very surprised. I really did think this. I thought that, when we started to pop above this, that it would be a very, like this thing right here, and then we found support here at this line. So I thought we would drift back below, and man, it's time for a pullback. Today's one of the biggest up days of all of them.
Dude, have you ever used Publix's little Instacart thing?
At the store?
Have you ever used it? No, where you stay at home and you let them deliver your food.
Yes, I have, but I don't do it with fruits and vegetables or meat, because you gotta be there. And
I got like healthy foods.
Just telling you,
Oh,
if you trust a stranger to pick your fruits and vegetables, then you never know what you're going to get.
I can tell you this one. You ready?
Go.
This person is, you get to see live updates of where they are coming to your house. Isn't this cool?
Huh?
I've
What?
never, this is awesome. Except I did it just because I wanted to get water, and you know.
Are you talking about the? Yeah, it's like DoorDash. If you, it says, oh, the guy picked
I never
the
used
stuff up,
DoorDash.
or
Now
Uber
she's at
Eats
the
or
gate.
whatever.
Now she's at the gate guard. The gate guard's calling me. Let her in. No.
Bitcoin
Isn't
is
that
treated
awesome?
like a risk asset. Yes, that is true, Douglas.
Thank you, Sherman. Did you hear that? George's gut is unbelievable. Good prediction.
It's a
Glenn,
prediction
hello, all.
machine.
It is a machine, dude. It is.
Hi, Glenn. How are you? I'm just reading.
Oh, my dogs are gonna bark here pretty soon. By the way, parabolic mover, reverse hard. Oh, I agree with you, Douglas. But I don't know when it will reverse, because it can go for a little bit of time. We got a lot of gold up in there.
All right, Darren's asking NNDN, and NNDM, and I know that has been brought up, and I keep moving on to different subjects. So, I mean, I'm still in the same place. I have all my NNDM. I have added to that position. I feel identically about that as I have. They continue to be. I'm going to bring it up because there's no sense in this. And I did find one other company that was close, but it's a company that they're going to be bankrupt in days, and I'll show you what I'm saying.
Yeah, Pooh Brain, you were so right. Now we're getting a live snapshot of Tom's brain on NNDA. Oh, DM.
NNDM. So
Nano Dimension.
For me, it's this simple. Market cap $625 million. So their price per share is $2.43, right? Now, if you look in, let me find this.
You hear my killers? Hang on, you hear them.
So, who let the dogs out? Barry saying it's 5:05 and I feel the live stream has barely started. I know, we've been all over the place. I'm blaming it on my cold. So let's see. I'm looking for a specific number. Total cash per share. They have $1.24 billion of cash. So total debt is $12 million. Let's round off. Compared to $1.24 billion, that's zero. So their net cash of debt is still $1.24 billion. So they have $1.24 billion in the bank. They owe $12 million. So where's the rest of it? Because their market cap was $625 million, which means, and you'll see this right here, their enterprise value, the market is valuing this company as if it's worth negative $600 million. So that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I got feel good food.
And I'll tell you when it does make sense, because I'm not saying that never makes sense. Let's say they had a cash burn of $1 billion a year. Well, then you could say, well, who cares if they have $1 billion in the bank? Their annual burn rate's $1 billion. That's going to be gone a year from now, so who cares? But, however, you'll see their operating cash flow was negative $70 million. I mean, they're not running out of cash. They're going to be profitable. And I love their product, and I love what they do. In addition to that, they are making strategic acquisitions at a steady pace. And this is what's happened. Everybody's attention span has turned into 5 minutes in this world. So these guys are being methodical and taking their time and finding good acquisitions. But what everybody wants is, that $1.24 billion is burning a hole in everybody else's pocket. The world wants them to spend that. Oh, go buy things. No, I don't want them to just go buy stuff. Check out the stock ticker XL if you want to see what happens when you just go buy stuff. So I want them to buy the right stuff. And so far they've been doing that, and I'm patient, and I don't mind sitting on the. I never heard of a company going out of business because they were sitting on $1 billion in cash, right? That's the opposite of a problem. Alex is asking where's their quarterly revenue. So let me go to their. I'm going to go to their real. I mean, their revenue numbers are very small. So if you're going to compare revenue to market cap, it won't make sense because they're still very early stage revenue, but they're starting to pick up on revenue. So and you can and again, to me, I mean, the worst you can do, if their revenue was zero, then you can say, well, all their worth is, so they have no assets, they have no liabilities, they have conduct no business, but they got $1.2 billion. Well, I know how to value that. It's $1.2 billion. I'm gonna go to their actual. I
got a donut. Guys. So here's my review on Publix Instacart. If you don't care what you get, it's really good.
You've conducted this whole transaction, and
when we started the stream, I did an order right before, and I got it. And I got these. Oh, I'm supposed to play Fortnite right now. I told the guy 6 o'clock, and he's already inviting me.
So Alex has answered this for me. He's beat me to it. They have 11 million in sales. So yeah, they're an early stage revenue company. I mean, this is definitely an early stage company. But I would ask you, Alex, would you say they're worth half their cash in the bank? I mean, that would be an argument to say, listen, they don't do anything. All they got is cash, and they're really not worth any more than just their cash in the bank. But you can't say they're worth $600 million less than their cash in the bank. That's not, you won't, and I've put this challenge out many times. You will not find one other stock in the entire stock market that has that negative valuation. This is the only one. And if you do find another one, it will be a company that has a cash burn rate that is equal to or greater than that, so that even though they have a lot of cash, it's obvious that it's imminent they're going to run out of cash. I mean, you can't value something. You can't value cash for less than its cash value. I mean, there's no scenario where that makes sense. Filings. So I don't know. Have I answered this? Have I given you my thoughts on Nano Dimension at this point, or should I dig deeper? Because I know everybody doesn't care about Nano Dimension, but to me, this is the safest place on earth to put your money. Not financial advice. That's just how I feel. And I don't park all my money there, but I do. You know, when they go down, when they have these days where they're down 3 or 4 or 5%, I add a little bit, because it's like, where is this company going to be 5 years from now?
Just, you know, Amazon's already gone up on their water prices.
They're charging more for water? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Crystal Glacier or whatever it's called. They're charging $20 for 24.
So this is we have one analyst covering Nano Dimension. It looks like they're thinking 5 million in sales this year, and I think they're just about on pace for that. Oh no, sorry, that was last year. The 41 million is this year. This is not up to date. And they did 11 million last quarter, so they're on pace for that. So that's small, but you can see they were even much smaller. They're early stages, and they're adding other forms of revenue, and the product that they sell, you know, it costs $500,000, but it also costs like $100,000 a year to maintain. So the more of those they sell, the more, you know, the more residual income that they have over time. So that will build. You I'm not saying this company is going to be the best thing that's ever happened. I'm just saying it in my mind, it should 5x just to get to something that resembles even a bad valuation. My personal opinion. What do you guys think? Martin saying, Tom, I have to know why you bought Nikola. All right, so let me answer that, Martin, because that's a great question. I bought that for a specific reason, and I bought some options in Nikola. And I did that because I think they're getting totally destroyed because of what's going on in the news right now. And they are a part of the EV sector, the electric vehicle sector, and that is an unbelievably volatile sector. That takes massive swings up and down. So I don't have any faith in that company. I mean, to some extent, most people probably view that company as a joke. They have a track record of some unbelievably poor performance, and that's putting it kindly. I think, they're under investigation, at least. Right now, they're in court right now. I mean, they had a car without an engine in it, basically, that they were. So anyway, I do not have great confidence in that company, but I do think it's a really good swing trade because the press that they've been getting right now, their stock has just dropped. So I'm going to bring it up the chart. Where is it? Does anybody see it? Is it not on my little list over here? See, that's how much I don't like this. I don't even have it on my... Oh, here it is. So, like, this was its all-time low. And it's now taken that out. So when it took this out, I bought some options because you can see the volatility on this. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. All I'm saying is, I think it's going to go up. And I don't even think it's going to go up to $9. If it just goes, it's down to $3.89. If it gets back to $5 or $6, I'm going to kill it on those options. And then I'll sell them. So I rarely talk about those types of trades on the channel because I mostly focus on the buy and hold part of what I do. But sometimes something presents itself that I feel is such a high probability of success that, and trust me, it's not like I put $10,000 into that. I put a small amount of money in there, and a lot of times I'll pull a 3x or a 5x on things like that. So that's why I am by no means do I own their stock, and I have no confidence in their company. So that's my answer to that. Barry's asking, Vice Chair.
Whoa. Sorry.
Vice Chair Brainerd moderates panel on how families, communities are adapting to changes in post-pandemic economy. Oh, okay. That's in response to the Fed talk.
I heard that person took lessons from Mike Tyson, by the way.
Okay, so Darren's clarifying. Nikola is not in court. The founder is in court. And he is no longer, and that is true. So thank you for the clarification. He's no longer with the company. He founded the company. It was his baby, but he has separated completely from the company.
Did he sell all his shares?
I don't know the answer to that. I know that he's no longer affiliated with the company. He has no official position at the company, so he's in court. I don't know if that's civil, but I saw what the CEO had to say, and it looks like all of management is saying, and they've got emails back and forth that they were warning him. He's saying things he shouldn't be saying, and so, it's just a lot of bad publicity. But you're right. That guy, he's actually not with the company anymore at all. But my point is there's all these red candles in a row. That's what's happening because of this awful, awful publicity right now. And it really isn't going to affect the company. And again, these are this sector, this EV sector, this is my EV list for the most part. So these stocks, there's days I go on this list and, you know, it's all 10, 15, 20% up and then 12 to 15% down. So if you want a swing trade, this is your list right here, because these stocks go crazy. But they're very volatile. They're, you know, most of you guys are used to a sector like that, or an industry. You know, most people here on the stream probably are in the Bitcoin miners, and they're the same way. I mean, you can look at the board, the Bitcoin board, and just be shocked on certain days. You know, Bitcoin moved 1% and everything's down 10%. While the EV sector moves almost the same exact way. So.
Oh yeah, can you do information on some CleanSpark? Justin's asking, and just so you know, somebody else who wrote that, I sold out my CleanSpark today too, Mr. Morris. I couldn't do it anymore. He thinks the whole market's going to crash another 50%.
Who thinks that?
Mr. Morris.
The whole market's going to crash another 50%, so that would be significantly worse than the 2008 scenario that we went through.
I said 30%, and we're down like 13%, and I think we got another 17 to go.
I mean, I can't.
It hurts when you see a good company like CleanSpark. Pull up CleanSpark, would you, Tom? You see a good company like CleanSpark, and they just get destroyed because, you know, it's probably not the best time to announce information. You know, just everybody is. What would be the word? Gun shy right now, or nervous about everything?
Everybody's mad at CleanSpark, and they think they pay their officers too much money. And the retail investors, trust me, it's not Wall Street selling off CleanSpark. It's retail investors just having a mass exodus, and this is exactly what Wall Street wants them to do. They want all the retail investors to go, man, these guys pay their executives too much money. I'm selling CleanSpark by the way, at its all-time low. While, if you look at their operational reports, if you've seen, I mean, I do a video on their operational reports, but you should read them yourself and dig into what they do. Operationally, these guys are on fire, in my opinion. So I think their management does a great job, and you know, they've grown in a year where every single Bitcoin miner has somewhere between slightly and drastically reduced their planned exahash from at December 31st, 2021. CleanSpark's increased it. They're bigger than they said they were going to be. Right? We have Marathon, who said they were going to be at 13.3, you know, and they were at one point they said they were going to be at 13.3 and they were at, you know, 0.7. Now that's an extreme situation, and hopefully they get all their machines online, but they're not alone. There's no other company that has kept up with the schedule that they put together. I did do a video on the worst 6 companies. 6 publicly traded companies are anywhere, and they've officially reduced their estimates anywhere from 75% to 99%. So, you know, you could buy one of those 6 companies. The 99% one is Sphere 3D. But
Alex, we should do a poll. Tom doesn't know how to do it.
What's the poll? I'll do it.
Do you think that do you agree with George and think the market is going down 30%? But I want you to say, I don't know. Let's do 30%. So you know, I would say no right now because it's already gone down 17%. You know what I mean?
So
I think it has 13% to go down.
How about, do we think there's a 20% pullback from here?
Okay, I agree with that.
No, Alex, I'm not the one shopping at Publix. George is doing. He's able to he's a better multitasker than I am.
And I didn't do that. I only watched the person drive and then talk to her. I chatted with her as she was shopping. I made her feel like she was my wife. Did you hear that one, honey?
So are we going to say in the market or in Bitcoin?
I stay in the market overall. And can you please like the stream? Please. Thank you, me Kevin, for the thumbs up.
Yeah, if everybody could like, that would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
We got 29 likes. Let's give us. It sounds stupid, but it really does make a big difference for the channel, believe it or not. So
We still struggle to get over 100 people. It's so sad. Makes me cry.
yes, no.
Yeah, I agree with that, Eric. Unfortunately, Cleanspark, and you gotta listen. I'm sorry, they're probably watching. Treating company like a cash cow, they need to look after shareholders' interests. They need to get to profitability before paying huge. Eric, you had me until you do big words. I'm not a smart guy. Tom's a smart guy.
Remuneration.
Compensation is what I'm going to use.
So, Eric, my thoughts on that are this: if you look at the compensation package that they gave those guys, it's the vast majority of it is stock incentives. I mean, they're paying their CEO $600,000.
That's nothing for.
I
CEO.
know. I don't know. 50 CEOs of private companies that are smaller than that make more money than that. So I know for us, it's like $600,000, but you're not going to get a competent person to do.
Wait a second. Say for me.
Huh? For me.
Sorry.
Well, I think it's fair to say that for the general population, we'd all trade our jobs for a $600,000 a year job that has options and incentives.
I wouldn't want to take the salary cut, Tom. I'm telling you right now.
I understand. There are those people that make even a lot more than that, and you only have to look to the rest of the CEOs in the marketplace. There's CEOs that make over $1 billion a year, and that's in cash. So these guys are most of the compensation is if they hit, there's actually straight up exahash target rates that they have to hit in order to get that compensation. And it's stock. So I don't feel like the Bitcoin mining industry is highly cash intensive. You need to buy machines, so you need money. Your money has a premium on it. So I agree. You don't want to be passing out all of your money. That's why I don't think a Bitcoin miner should do a dividend for any time for the next 10 years. And I would rather see them give away compensation, incentivized compensation in the form of stock than in cash, because the cash is so crucial to these companies. But I think that is what they did, and they got a CEO. I think they got a chairman of the board making $600,000 and a CEO making $500,000, and then they have a chance if they 100% hit their bonuses, those two people will match that. So that'll get them to $1 million, and that's a lot of money. But let me ask you this: if you are a Cleanspark owner and next December they're at 22 exahash, are we happy or not happy with Cleanspark?
I'd be happy.
That's how I look at it. That's how I ask myself, okay, you know what? Those guys got some money, but they only got it. They're only getting that money if they get to 22 exahash. So not the salary. They're getting the salary no matter what. But the big incentives that they have are stock based, and they only get there if they hit, that's a grand slam home run.
So we were talking about the 20% pullback. We got a poll up there for people, but somebody said something very interesting, and I didn't see his name. Let me see. Sanity. Do you think that Eric said it. Do you really think Apple is going to drop 20% from here? Really? And then I went to the market cap of Apple. The market cap as of close today from Yahoo, if it's wrong, don't yell at me, yell at Yahoo, is $2.418 trillion. So
right.
they could lose $50 billion, and I still think they would be overvalued personally. So yes, I actually do think that's possible, and yes, I am the person that is hedging that it's going to go down.
It's
20%.
got if it's gonna.
No,
there's a
this is not
reason that
financial advice.
I don't know who asked you that, but there's a reason they asked you that, because the market can't get down to where you're saying unless Apple goes down. Apple's holding the market up right now.
Right.
Microsoft's at its 52-week low. Google's at its 52-week low. Apple is nowhere near its 52-week low. But I have to agree with George. I could absolutely see a 20% pullback in Apple. I mean, at $2.4 trillion, that's just, they turned 2.4 trillion into 2 trillion. Bang.
And here's my thing. Why in the world is Apple doing good right now? Because of the 14 whatever?
I mean, they're killing it on sales. And
I know they're killing, but let's not. Dude, I can't say this.
So, Michael Anthony, I'm going to interject.
I'm gonna shut up before I get in trouble.
Michael Anthony saying, why do you like Nano Dimension in a market sell-off? I like it even more in a market sell-off because just from any valuation standpoint that you look at Nano Dimension, it's already, in my opinion, ridiculously oversold. So if they're going to sell it off even more, they have the cash in the bank to support. So when you have $5 of cash in the bank for every share of stock that you have, how can your stock be worth $2? Just let's pretend they don't even have any business at all, and they go to work and they play solitaire.
Fortnite.
They play Fortnite. Let's say that every single person in their company does nothing but play Fortnite all day. But they have $5 of cash in the bank for every share of stock they have, and they're only using 10 cents of that cash a year.
Wow.
Because that's their cash burn rate. So, in that scenario, what would you value that company at? That's all. That's why. And so I know a lot of people are like, well, they're so early stage in their sales and they haven't proven themselves. Well, that's a reason to have a low valuation. It's not a reason to have a negative $600 million valuation. There is no other. If anybody can show me one other stock, there's only about a dozen other stocks that have a negative enterprise value at all. There's nothing that has even in the neighborhood of this. I did a search and I found one stock that was negative that much, but their cash burn rate was greater than that. So it made sense. So in other words, at the end of 1 year, that cash was going to be gone. So, okay, in that scenario, you can discount the cash because you know they're about to lose it. But if they have the cash and they're not spending the cash, you can't discount the cash. It's cash. That's the one thing. Like everything else, the valuation of everything else can be speculative. There's a lot of different methods of valuation, but there is nobody has a method of valuing cash anything different than $1 equals $1. $1 equals $1.
And I mean, just for that reason alone, it should have gone up. Think about this. The dollar has ran, right? This last week. Why didn't it go up proportionately?
Right. That
doesn't even make sense.
Sour Melon Gaming is saying, George, I 100% guarantee you when Bitcoin turns bullish again, these live streams will get over 500 views minimum, if not over 1,000.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Sour Melon Gaming. I hope that you are right. We like our group, don't get me wrong. We love this group. We have a great... Thank everybody. Again, if I haven't said it, and I have a cold today, so if I'm on a rant, that's what's going on. But thank you, everybody, for joining us on the live stream and for leaving comments on the videos and likes and all of that stuff, because it does help us. It helps the channel a lot, and we're trying to grow this channel and reach more people. So, you know, you guys on the live stream are pretty much all regulars, so we really, really, really appreciate it. So I just want to take that 1 minute to thank everybody.
I'm not thanking nobody. Cash is trash. Mike just said cash is trash. I guess the U.S. dollar is in trash right now.
I mean,
Question.
that's the ironic
Mike
part.
asks, that's a Cleanspark over Riot? Question mark.
Huh? Cleanspark over Riot?
If you were going to invest in one right now,
Well,
which one?
those are 2 of my 3 biggest holdings. So that's a tough question for me. Right now, out of all the miners, and this doesn't mean I think they're the best 3 miners, I just think they're the best valued miners. For me, I have CleanSpark, Bitfarms, and Riot.
I have a question. Somebody's asking, will you chart Beyond Meat? Did you hear about this whole big thing with Beyond Meat?
Yes. My answer to that question is yes. I've been wanting to do a Beyond Meat video forever. I think Beyond Meat is oversold beyond belief. Beyond Meat, Tattooed Chef, Oatly, all of those companies are in the same space, and they're all getting destroyed right now. Beyond Meat, I think, might have been up today. The other 2 are down. They all 3 yesterday hit their 52-week lows. And I think Beyond Meat is about to have a very, very good 2 years, in my opinion. And as anecdotally, this is not officially part of my Beyond Meat analysis, but I went to Panda Express at the mall, and they have Beyond Orange Chicken at the Panda Express. So, you know, there's yet another. They have so many relationships. They have a relationship with Taco Bell. They have a relationship with McDonald's that's hasn't even gotten going yet. Things are taking a little bit of time to get going, but I will tell you, I do like them. I don't know who asked this question, but that's one and I don't own any of it yet. Only because I've just been buying the dips on these Bitcoin miners, but they're in my top 3 on my watch list right now. I'm just trying to read to see who asked that question. Dollar store value, market remains riding the trend. Long series of letters that I can't pronounce. I have Beyond Calls. Did Beyond Meat CEO bite someone's? No. Somebody bit something. It wasn't their I don't think it was their CEO, but one of their executives did bite somebody. All right, now we got to look at it. No, they bit somebody's nose. Beyond Meat suspends their chief operating officer after he bites somebody's nose. I don't know, so I don't know what's wrong with him. He had a Mike Tyson moment there for a minute. Yeah, that was a big story. I know, they get more publicity because this guy's biting somebody's nose off than they do for what they're doing, but I like what they're doing, and I think they're a year away, but that's when you got to catch these stocks, when they're a year away, you know what I mean? If everybody can catch them when they're already taken off. Eric said 100%. Hopefully that means you agreed with me on something. Oh, maybe CleanSpark. Oh, sorry, Anders. We started at our regular time at 4:15 Eastern time. I don't know why. Sometimes some people don't get notifications, or they get them late. Barry's saying he bit someone's nose. Yes. I don't know why that happens. I have like an account that I set up just so that I can see if the notifications go out, and sometimes that account doesn't get the notifications. So YouTube has a mind of its own. I don't know why it does those things. And there's also a lot of rules, just so you guys know, that won't, like, I can't even, if I do a community, if I do a poll, not on our chat here on this stream, but on the community, if I do a poll for the channel or something, or just make a comment like, hey, I did this today, it counts that as a video, and it only gives me 3 of those a day, and then it stops doing notifications. So I'm very limited as far as what, and I like to save, like, obviously I want people to be notified of the live stream. Barry's saying, well, the irony, the non-meat guy chewing on somebody's nose, which is meat technically. So yes, that is ironic. Have you guys not been paying attention to the debt markets? Look at the HYG, look at the bond market. I know, I will tell you, I do look at these, but the relationship between the bond markets, and now it actually is starting to matter. As interest rates get this high, it's having more of an impact. But I was a little bit of a naysayer at the beginning, you know, when they were raising 1/4 of a point and 1/2 a point, and interest rates were starting at 0. You know, we were at 0 at the beginning of this. I didn't think it was making much of a difference. But yes, probably we need to take a closer look at that. Michael's saying, has NNDM made a profit, and do you know who buys their products? So they're gigantic. Their main product is the Firefly, and it's like a 3D machine for printing like extremely precise circuitry. So like NASA would buy their machine, or, you know, I'm just using that as an example, but that is somebody, it's $500,000 for their machine, and you know, it's about $50,000 a year to get supply. It's a big investment. So, you know, there's a limited market to that extent, but you don't have to sell too many of those to get to where you're going. And again, once they own it, there's residual income on it, because they pay a maintenance contract, and they pay for supplies. So, you know, there's a lot of extra money on that, and they still are early at that. So I don't know if that thing's going to be a hit and a home run. I just know it's not worth negative $600 million. Let's see. Scott's agreeing with Andrew. We need to look at the debt markets. Eric's restarting a small position in the TQQQ. The T's are the positive, no? This is leveraged long, I think. Yeah. So you think we're bottomed and the market's going up? I think, Martin, I think the ticker for Beyond Meat is BYND. I believe. I'll pull it up. Yeah. So they actually had a green day today amongst the sea of red, but they're still very close to their 52-week low is $14.61, and I think that was yesterday. So they're still very near their 52-week low. And their 52-week high is $114. So, you know, if they get down to $11, that's a 90% pullback. And if we go past a year, let's see what 19's too far back. That doesn't count. $190 in October of 2020. That was a long time ago still too. So even if you just take their, but you can see in June of, so last summer, they were at $145, and now they're at $15. So, and I have not started to buy in. They just went under $1 billion market cap, but this is at the top of my watch list, and I would, if people care about this enough for a video, I would definitely do a video on Beyond Meat. trying to keep up with the... Do you think there will be any political pressure on the market to rally before the 8th of November? You know, ordinarily, it's funny. I checked that yesterday. The last two cycles, one of them there was a really... In 2020, there was a really nice rally going into the election. But in 2018, the market tanked going into the election. So those are the last two cycles. So I didn't bother going any further back than that. I don't know. I mean, theoretically, that's what I have in my head. Like, oh, you know, the market's going to rally into the election. But I guess, you know, it's one out of the last two times it did do that, and one out of the last two it did not do that. Alex is saying on CNBC Mad Money, the lightning round, Jim Cramer said he doesn't like the 3D printing business, calling it a faddish business. He said he doesn't have that much hope left for Nano Dimension. So we got a no from Jim Cramer.
That should make it a reason to buy it then.
I know a lot of people feel that way. So Alex is saying, buy it then. LOL, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean...
That's right.
My son has a 3D printer. I think it's the coolest thing I've ever seen, but maybe it's a fad. I don't know. If they're making these, and this is not, you know, your average 3D printer. This thing's making high-end circuitry. So, I don't know. I don't know what the future of that is.
Okay,
and I don't know what they're going to do with the rest of their $1.2 billion. But you must have to really hate management if you think that they're going to just waste it, because that's what it's priced at, is that management is going to waste the rest of all their money. Darren's saying, if Cramer doesn't like NNDM, that's all I need to know. Love NNDM. Yeah, I don't mind being on Sour Melon Grape says inverse Cramer, or Sour Melon Gaming. Inverse Grape. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind being on the wrong side of Jim Cramer. Although I think that's just turned into a thing that people say. But he's missed a lot. But he's got to go on every single night and make Mike. 5 or 6 or 7, you know, calls on stocks. So you win some, you lose some. I'm not defending him. He crossed Bitcoin a while back, so he's off my list. Douglas is saying, not a fad. Originally thought folks would have them in their home, but turns out they will be used in major manufacturing. So that's exactly right, Douglas. They're like this little one that my son has at home. That may not be the future of 3D printing, but these industrial level 3D printers are, I think they are game changing. So I don't think they are a fad. And I'll add to that, I just DDD is a stock that I traded a while back and I got out because it has such a ludicrous run up that, let me look at it on this because
okay, as you talk about it, this is something I know about 3D printers. How about teeth? Did you know they're making teeth with it now? It's so much better than the way they currently make teeth. I don't know if the people know this, but most of the teeth are made in China.
So I had, and this is why I have not bought it since. I did not get it. No, I did not get it down at 4, but I was mad. So it ran up from $4 to $8, and I was furious with myself. So I did catch it on this dip right here at $6, and I did not, I didn't get to ride it all the way up to $56. I took profits all the way along the way, and I was, by $30, I was all the way out, but I got in at $6. So I just, sometimes when you put that one in the win column that much, I don't like to come back to it. And it's trended down, but it is now down. I literally, just this week, put this back on my watch list. It's now back down to a point where, it's down to $8. So I'm looking at this again. So the 3D stocks did take a little bit of a hit, and Nano Dimension is very early stage revenue, and they're going to do other things. But I hope they stick to, something at least related. Eric's saying, buy if Kramer says sell for sure. Colton, I don't know the answer to that. I have no idea. Let's see. Eric said, part of my car was one of the first production cars to have 3D parts on the outside. So yeah, I mean, the applications I think the manufacturing applications, it just makes sense to me. So I do think and if they're having a little bump in the road right now, then obviously this is a stock that I will always have positive memories with because it ran up, beyond belief in a very short period of time. You can see this was November. This is when everything went crazy. It almost didn't matter if you bought something right here, they all did this in the small cap high growth. It was insanity. You guys remember. We'd like one of those again, but I don't think we're going to see a run like that anytime in the near or distant future. Let's see, Mike, with the Fed, Andrew's saying with the Fed going to 4.6%, the dollar will go much higher. The DXY will skyrocket. Yeah, the dollar's crushing the euro and the pound right now. There's no doubt about it. But I hope it tops out. I mean, it's also crushing the stock market and Bitcoin and everything in its path. Sour Mountain Gaming is asking, what do you think of cores and do you own any? So I just bought some options in cores, some leap options. And I do think, cores, to me, I don't have the same level of conviction in cores. I think if they can make it through this downturn, they are a monster. But I do think there's a lot more doubt about them making it through the downturn than some of the other companies that I invest in. Like, to me, Riot has a very strong balance sheet. And, CleanSpark keeps their balance sheet clean. They have very little debt. They're executing very well. So to me, those are less risk and still high reward. I think Core Scientific they're the biggest one by far. Their production is more than all the other. It's more than double the next closest. So, if they make it, so that's why I bought some leap options. It was a smaller investment. It's some time out to give them enough time to get past whatever this drop is in Bitcoin, even if it lasts a couple of years. They're 2025 options. So those I view as more of a risk. That's my feelings on Core Scientific, in my opinion. All right, Alex, has anyone tasted Beyond Meat products? What do you think? So I have tasted a bunch of their products, and I think it's incredible. I like meat, and don't get me wrong, so I like a good steak, and I'm a carnivore, but I've had several times in my life for dieting reasons where I've done the vegan thing, and I can tell you 20 years ago there was nothing that tasted like what these things are. You really can't hardly tell the difference at this point. So I think when they get themselves into McDonald's, I mean, Burger King already has the Impossible Whopper, and McDonald's is taking forever, but they're going to counter with Beyond Meat. And so far I liked a lot of these things. It's almost like, when you have sweet and sour chicken, is it really the chicken you bought it for? It's just the sauce it's like shrimp cocktail. I like shrimp cocktail sauce. I don't even know if I like shrimp. So Barry said George is suspiciously quiet. Oh, and George is saying I keep coughing when I talk and it hurts. Andrew said, Colton, don't do that. I'm telling you, that's an awful plan. Beyond is a mess. Andrew is saying stay away from Beyond. They're a mess.
It's a mess for now, but at some point in time, it has to take off. I don't like it personally, but
So we got one big thumbs down for Beyond. Mike said, I like pistachios. I don't know how to put that into context. I must have
who
missed
doesn't
something.
like pistachios? They're salty. They're
Everybody
protein.
loves pistachios. It's a lot of work, though.
Yeah, I think. Oh, that's the big thing right now, isn't it?
No, the answer to that, no, Beyond Meat does not have bugs in it.
Yes, it does.
No, it does not have bugs.
You have not heard about what they're talking about doing?
Listen, everything has a certain level. Even peanut butter has an acceptable level of bugs that get into the machinery that under.
No. They're saying that you should eat crickets.
I'm not eating bugs. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. If it's the apocalypse, I'm still not eating bugs. So I know there's people that eat bugs. There's cultures that eat bugs, and that is fine for them. For me, I'm out. I'm out on the bugs.
Andrew, I'm with you, by the way. I love that sauce. Polynesian.
Hey, seriously, welcome.
Hey, I got to jump off, Tom. It was nice talking to everybody.
All right, George, thanks
Hopefully next, go Bills. And hopefully next Friday I'll be doing better.
Yeah, feel better. Thanks, George. We'll talk to you
guys.
later.
Peace out, everyone.
All right, that was our stay with George. George thinks that Bitcoin's going down.
Way down.
Way down. That was George's last words. Way down. Let's see, Andrew. The whole reason I go to Chick-fil-A is the Polynesian sauce. Yeah, see, exactly. I mean, and I love the hot mustard sauce at McDonald's. Scott said Bitcoin hits 10,000. I'll be eating bugs. Is that because you'll have no money left? No bugs for me. Let's see. Michael Anthony says, I'd rather buy a debt-free company which doesn't pay interest on a loan. Will have a better chance of beating or meeting earnings because they don't pay interest on debt, like BRN or PED or JOB. Are bugs vegan? Asks Alex. That's a good question. It feels like bugs would not be vegan. I don't know what the technical answer to that is, but I feel like the answer to that is no, they are not. Do you guys know, this is Barry, do you guys know that fake vanilla is made from beaver butt glands? I don't know that. I did not want to know that. I'm going to choose to pretend that's not real if it is real. What kind of fake vanilla? What's fake vanilla? All right, so I'm going to go back to the Bitcoin chart. See, this is a mess on the one-day time frame. All right. I just want to see how we're doing while we're talking here. Bitcoin's having a nice little run up. We're at back to 19,000 at Bitcoin. So we got down this morning. Let's see. We were down to 18.5. So, well, we're trading within a $500 range. But we have been, I mean, I don't know where we're going. We still may retest the lows. Oh, Barry's saying, trust me, you've had it. All right. Is that the flavoring in vanilla ice cream and that kind of stuff? I don't want to know. Did you guys hear that Kathy Wood stepped down from second of her funds? No, I did not hear that. So I just was reading an article that she bought a couple of things, but they were biopharmaceutical, and that, as you guys know me, you know I That's an area I'm not comfortable in. I don't understand that. And I was actually looking at, I am considering if the ARKK, if this hits its all-time low, I might, and I own no funds. She actually has a fund specific to biotechnology as well. So I'm considering that, because that's an area that I couldn't possibly pick the stocks myself in. And this is a high risk portfolio. So it is no surprise that it's getting absolutely destroyed right now. But the flip side is eventually going to be true. When things get better, this thing's going to skyrocket. And what I really need to look for is there's something that leverages 2x this fund. So I don't know. I'll look into that and see. I may, if we start hitting new lows, you know, and we take out the summer lows. The Dow already took out its low from the summer. The NASDAQ, I think, is 1% away from its low from this summer. So I was making a list. You could just go down the list. It's like half of the stocks on my watch lists are at their 52-week lows. AT&T's at a 15-year low. Like, there's a lot of things that are at their lows right now. Now, I'm not recommending AT&T by any stretch of the imagination, but they're at a 15-year low. That's a long time. I like Paramount Pictures a lot. They are at a 52-week low. They're at actually, I think, a 2 or 3 year low. And I like what they're doing. I might do another. I've done a couple videos on Paramount, and they have not taken off. Obviously, they've gone in the wrong direction. They're hitting a 52-week low. So, but I might do another one, because their company is making a lot of the right moves, in my opinion. Mike's saying, thoughts on Tesla stock. So, I mean, Tesla had until today, Tesla was having a really nice run, and it's held up better than most stocks. I have never owned Tesla's stock. I have never shorted Tesla stock, which was my inclination, because I felt like it was overvalued. But obviously that would have been an absolute nightmare disaster for me. So that's why I don't short stocks. That's one of the examples I point to as to why I don't short stocks, because to me that was way overvalued. But you know what? To some extent, they've grown into their valuation a lot more than I ever expected they would. So I still think they're overvalued personally, but I know there's a lot of Tesla fans out there, and now they just announced, I don't know, I think they already maybe did this week. They were going to have they got a robot, a human assistant or something like that can work in factories, and I don't know. So I'm not sure how that worked out, but I did read something about that this week. Let's see. Tom, have you ever looked at Eargo? Ticker EAR. I'm going to say no. I've looked at that, but it was only one time, and I don't even remember what it is. So I'm going to say, yeah, I have not looked at that. A medical device company engaged in enhancing the quality of life of people with hearing loss in the United States. Okay, so it is what it sounds like. And oh, this is a very small market cap company. So, but I do like to look at these types of companies. I mean, these are the ones you want to get a 10x. You know, starting at $48 million, that leaves a lot of room for a 10x. So I'll check this one out. Let's see what they were as high as $10. They're down to $1. They've been as low as 67 cents. So I'll look into them. I don't know anything about them. So Darren, is that one that you're invested in? Do you like that one? Seriously said, Arrow is 67 cents. It's nuts. I bought some more Arrow today. So I've been dollar cost averaging into that as well. that is nuts. It doesn't make any sense. That is another company that has more cash in the bank than they have market cap. And again, they have very little debt. Now, they do have some cash burn, but they've got years of cash left. And that's just a question of two things. Number one, they're in that these EV companies, I'm telling you, the volatility is just like the Bitcoin miners. So for that to be this far oversold at some point, even if they don't succeed at what they're doing, I believe at some point they're going to double or triple just because that's the way the market goes. So I also think they're going to succeed at what they're doing beyond that. But even if they don't and they can just hang in there, I think there's a lot of upside on that one. Colton said, I've been thinking of buying ARK. So I don't want to get, I never buy funds, but pretty much all the stocks that they buy, I don't buy, and I don't understand a lot of what they do. So I figure it's a nice way to balance things out, especially, you know, because of the fact it's so highly volatile. If I can catch it at a low. Let's see. Andrew said, one of my recommendations is to buy Starwood Property Trust in the current environment. If you're in cash, great. But if you want to buy something with solid management and a great yield, look at STWD. So let's look at it. Starwood Properties operates a real estate investment. Oh, it's a REIT. Okay. All right. And Andrew likes this. So this is a REIT, and Andrew likes it. 8.97% dividend yield and a solid balance sheet. Darren, I have owned EAR. I'm looking to re-enter soon. FDA approved ear aids for over-the-counter sales. So I see much. Wow. I wonder how much those cost. That's wild. I know people with, including my mother, with hearing aids. So I don't know if this is just on a much lower level. But I mean, she's got to go to a specialist, and it seems like those are a forever battle. So I got to check out what this ear company is doing. Let's see. F has all types of model, gas and electric both, but inflation is hitting all companies now. Which F is Ford. Yeah, Ford got they had a day this week where they were down 12% in one day, and they came out and said inflation's supply chain's a problem, inflation's a problem. So they were, they lowered expectations a little bit, but their stock has had a huge run. So they were down 12% in one day, which is a big hit, and they're way off of their highs, but their stock has had a big run over the last couple of years. So Mike's saying, I think on options, Apple $130 puts. That Mike said he had Apple 130. Is Mike a different somebody else on the chat? I mean, I would not be surprised to see Apple put, if the market's going to go lower, then Apple's the thing that can take it there. It's the last thing that's really held its value, and obviously it's by far now. Microsoft was very close to the same size as Apple not too long ago. But Microsoft is at its 52-week low, and Apple is nowhere near its 52-week low. So Apple's been holding strong, and it's been holding the market up. We'll see. I feel like we're closer to a relief rally than we are to a market crash, but I have been accused of being optimistic at times. And I'm not calling for a bull market. I'm not, and that's a big difference. I'm not calling for a bull market, but relief rallies happen. I mean, we've seen them. So when things get oversold, and that's what I tend to look at. And I look at I look at the one-day RSIs on the indexes and that kind of stuff, and when everything is super oversold, I just feel like that's that is usually followed by at least a little bit of a relief rally. So we're already entering oversold territory on all the indexes. I know that a lot of people think Monday is going to be a disaster, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I hope that it is not. If it is, then I will probably use that as a buying opportunity. I don't think we're going wildly lower soon, but I don't think we're anywhere near the end of the pain in the economy. There's a difference between the economy and the stock market. So the economy lags the market by a lot. So we are a long time into feeling pain in the market. That doesn't mean that the pain's over. There may be more to come. But my point is, don't discount the pain we've already had in the market. The small caps are still down almost 90%, as a group. So between 80 and 90%. So, that's pain. Barry said, with dollar so strong, you and George should go on junket to Argentina to visit the new Bitfarms factory. Tax deduction. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we could write it off. That's a good point. I know they finally got I shouldn't say finally. They got their operations up and running in Argentina, which is good. And it looks like they're going to get 50 megawatts going by the end of the year. So, somebody, I don't have any firsthand knowledge of this, but somebody was saying that may not necessarily be a safe area. So again, I don't know exactly where they are, and I can't remember who told me that. So that is not financial advice or advice of any other kind. Barry's saying thoughts on Elgarand. I don't know that one, so I don't have thoughts on that. I can add it to my. I usually take notes after, but I'll write that down after and look. Forenix says, hello, Tom. What do you think about Compute North bankruptcy news? How will it influence partnerships with Marathon, Hive, and there's 3 or 4 others that they do business with that are publicly traded. But they do have big relationships with Marathon, I think the biggest one, and Hive they signed that big relationship with as well. I mean, we're going to have to see how they filed for a reorganization. So they filed bankruptcy. They filed for a reorganization. Theoretically, there's the potential that they could continue operating smoothly. Also, just as many times as not, there's big bumps in the road when, a company's going through this process. There's no guarantee that process goes well. So that's what it's going to depend on. If that starts going poorly, then it's going to have negative impact. Hive is a little further out. They were earlier stage in their conversations. Marathon is knee deep in the middle of dealing with them. So that's an imminent situation for them. And somebody earlier suggested maybe Marathon will just buy them out. And maybe that's the answer. I don't know. The article that I read, it looked like they were not a little bit upside down. It looked like they were somewhere maybe $300 million, $400 million potentially upside down in paying their bills. That's not a little bit of money. So I'm not sure how that restructuring is going to go. But it's big news. I mean, I think that's why Marathon took a big hit today. I mean, it was a red day across the board, so a lot of things were down. But Marathon, I think, was down the worst, almost 9.98%. So it took a big hit today. So actually, Iris Energy finished. So Iris must have closed strong. Stock ticker IREN. They were down big today. They announced a shelf offering, and they were at one point they were down 15% today. So they did rally into the close. Many people on CNBC saying today that calling for the S&P to go below 3,600. I mean, it's not out of the question, but let me go to What was the low this summer? Let's go to the 52-week low. 36.36. So that would mean it would take out its lows and hit a new low. And that is entirely possible. I don't discount the fact that we could break the summer lows and go 10% lower. I mean, that's not crazy talk. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's certainly not crazy talk. That absolutely could happen. I just feel like that's not what's happening next, but we'll see. I didn't think this is what was going to happen this week, so this Thursday, Friday action is the opposite of what I thought was going to happen. So everybody, if you could please remember to hit the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps it out, helps the channel out a lot. Also, just a reminder, you can now become a member of the channel if you're interested. There's a join button. If you're on your PC, I think there's some other devices where you got to jump through some hoops. So I'm not sure what the answer to that is, but you can join, you can support the channel, you can become a member, and we do a once a week private live stream and some other videos that are for members only. However, we're still doing everything. Nothing changes for everybody. You know, we're always going to do our Friday live stream and all that kind of stuff. Barry says Bitcoin's above 19K. So let's go back to the Bitcoin schedule and see what's... Yeah, see, as we're sitting here talking, Bitcoin's having a nice run. Where did we close? Yeah, so it looks like we closed at 18.8. We're at 19 right now. Hey, every little bit helps. Darren said, if CNBC said it must be taken as gospel, right? Sorry, I don't subscribe to them. I know. There was a time I had CNBC on in the background all day, every day, but I have not done that for years. I just couldn't take it anymore. My other video today was kind of a rant, a little bit about, you know, these financial networks and what they're talking about. I just feel like they're not in touch with what's really going on, and I don't feel like they're addressing the retail investor. So I'm with you, Darren. I kind of gave up on them. Joel's saying I bought Bitfarm and Hut today. What's your thoughts on them? So for me, Bitfarm is a big position of mine. Hut is a company I like a lot. So Sue is coming on. Sue Ennis, who's the VP at Hut, and she's kind of their face. So we've talked to her a couple of times on the channel, and she's coming on not next week, but the week after. We'll be having an interview with Sue. So you guys can drop in the comments of any of the videos if you want anything in specific you want me to talk to her about. And we are also going to be next week. We're going to be talking to Ben from Bitfarms. So we do have 2 interviews coming up, which I'm excited about because a lot has gone on since the last time I talked to either of those companies. So Joel, as it happens, I'm going to be talking to somebody from Bitfarms and Hut. So you can watch those interviews and let them tell you what's going on. They usually are very candid. Alex is saying, help Tom by joining. He needs more cowbell. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. God, the only prescription is more cowbell. You guys have to be aware of the something that I'm not aware of. Mike, says Mike Robinson. Okay, we got a request here. Please make a video of every miner with their mining cost as Bitcoin is going down. So that is actually in the works. I did that and I can only do that quarterly because we only get their financials on a quarterly basis. So I did that after the end of the first quarter. I now have all the data as of the end of the second quarter. So I am putting that together, and I think this weekend I'll probably get that video out. It's just, they don't make it easy for you. A lot of these companies, their income statements are very discombobulated, in my opinion. They don't make it obvious what their direct costs are, and I almost feel like that's intentional. But you know, if where I have to, I use, you know, estimates, and a lot of the companies, you know, they disclose their exact costs. So I will have that chart put together, and there's a big difference. It's a surprising difference. Last time I did the chart, you know, I think Bitfarms was in first at just over $10,000, and there were companies that were over $20,000. That's direct cost, and that's just their cash costs. That's not depreciation. So essentially, that's their break-even point to where they start contributing to paying for their overhead. So that's the cost that I calculate, and it has varied in the past. Last time, it varied between all the way from $10,000 to $20,000. So that is definitely worth knowing. I'm putting that together. That is valuable information. Mike wants to know, when is there a 10X? I don't know, but I'm ready. I'm ready for it whenever it's coming. I think that nobody thought we'd be at where we are in Bitcoin right now, but this is how the market works. The market can stay insane for longer than you can stay solvent. Somebody said that. That's a quote from I don't know who, but it's true. I mean, and that is my same theory for don't short stocks, because just because a company's overvalued it could still 5x or 10x from there before it turns around. I had a list of overvalued stocks, and I just let it sit, and it's now a year later, and I just looked. Every one of those stocks has tanked. However, I don't feel that good about it, because almost every single stock in the whole entire stock market has tanked since then. So I probably could have put any 10 companies on that list. Mike's saying Hut 8 are going to be massive in 3 years. Alex says operating cost to mine, is that what is asking for? Operating cost to mine. So hold on, let me see. Yeah, so I'm saying, yeah, that's the I consider their direct costs, which is mostly energy. You know, and there's other, if they have hosting fees or all that kind of stuff. What are their cash costs to mine a Bitcoin? Obviously, then past that, they have, you know, operations overhead, and, you know, they have to make a gross profit in order to pay for their overhead. So, you know, it can't just be break even forever. But like I said, a lot of these companies have gotten their number down to, you know, $10, $11, $12,000. And I do the total cost. A lot of these companies, if you read the investor presentation, they will say, you know, our direct cost per Bitcoin is $8,000 or whatever. But then if you go to their financial statements and do the math, it's higher. It's higher than that. So the numbers that I will give you are going to be from the financial statements. Barry said, almost feel like they do that deliberately. Definitely, I suspect they use hosting to muddy the figures too. Yeah, exactly. Alex said, that was a very good analysis. Helped me with my buying decisions. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. I'm glad that was helpful, and I'm definitely updating that. I got to get the new one out. I do so many different analysis. I'm trying to get some more of these out into videos, and I can't get them all in the same video. So sometimes if you don't see something in a video, it's not because I'm not doing it. It's probably just coming up in another video. So I know that I get that a lot. It's, can you do this or that? And it's like, I can, but, you know, I try to keep my videos to 10 or 12 minutes. That's, I feel like, the attention span that the world has now. So I can only do so much in that period of time. All right, anybody have any other thoughts or questions or final thoughts for the week? 'Cause I think I'm getting ready to wrap up. Bitcoin is on the upswing right now, so we might as well go into the weekend on that note. We're at 19,030. Bunch of 15-minute green candles in a row. Michael's asking, what about KHC and BGS, which both are food companies, which people must buy their products to eat food from home in a recession. I'll add those. So when I'm done, I go through and I write down all the, because it's too much in real time, but I will write those down and take a look and see what's going on there. Barry's asking, do you consider yourself an investor who share on YouTube, or are you a YouTuber yet? I don't know. I'm not a YouTuber. I mean, I guess I'm on YouTube and I have a YouTube channel, but I'm an investor first, would be my answer to that. I'd like to keep the YouTube channel going. I'm hoping that this is helping people, and I know this market is brutal, and sometimes just sharing in the misery is enough to help people. And also, I know that I spend an unreasonable amount of time doing deep dives into these Bitcoin miners, and so I have a lot of information that I think is worth sharing. So that's why I have the channel, and it's not just Bitcoin that I looked at, but we've moved a lot into that direction, Bitcoin to Bitcoin miners. But I do this kind of deep dive. I mean, it's what I'm doing anyway. So I'm glad to have the YouTube channel. I'm glad it's growing. I do want to grow it more. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Thank you, Tom, for all the videos. You are really helping me to invest in the miners, and I hope these difficult times will be over soon. Yes, you hope that. I hope that. We all hope that. I mean, the end is somewhere, so they're testing our patience. And that oftentimes is what the stock market is more than anything else. It is one of the greatest tests of your patience of all time. That's Warren Buffett said, and he's not at the top of my list either. I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying I got a few little disagreements with him. But he said something to the effect of it's a way for essentially to transfer wealth from the impatient to the patient. And there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, we all would have liked Bitcoin to be at 150,000 right now, but it's not. But I think that it will be, and if that's 3 years from now or 5 years, whatever the case may be, I mean, we're in it at this point. There's no point in leaving at the bottom. Roll A40 says, smash that like button. Yes, thank you. It's the hardest, easiest way to make money, said Mike Robinson. I like that. I have not ever heard that. That's a good one. That's it. And that sums it up. That's exactly right. 2023, 2024 bull run. I hope so. My hardest buys seem to turn out to be my best buys. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And that's not a coincidence, because remember, there's somebody on the other side of this. There's big institutional money. There's hedge fund money. They want to make money twice. They want to make money driving a stock down and making you sell it at its low, right? Because you just can't take the pain anymore. And then they want to make their money on the way back up. So, you got to be in the right stock, of course. Not every stock is guaranteed to go up. But if you have conviction in a stock, this is what they do. That is the game, right? They push stocks down and drive retail investors out. And typically, unfortunately, the average retail investor tends to sell very close to the low and tends to buy very close to the high. So we want to make the opposite of that true. So that's what we're trying to do. But it's hard. It's like right now, it's hard to pull the trigger. If you think the next 10 or 20% is down, maybe you don't buy right now, or maybe you sell. But that's what dollar cost averaging is all about. So, I can't tell you guys how to invest, but the only time to buy low is at painful times, right? When it's easy when everything's going up. But by then, you've oftentimes it's too late. Alex said, thank you for the analysis. Great to have your knowledge and work product. Valuable. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it. Appreciate all your comments as well. Alex leaves a lot of detailed, thoughtful comments on videos as well. So Thank you for that. As do a lot of you guys, I know. Gary said, agree and appreciate your efforts. Thanks. Appreciate it. Roll A. 420. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for your continued support. Thanks for joining me on Friday afternoons. And I know Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, and Friday were red for most of us. But tomorrow or next. Oh, see, look. Bitcoin's running as we're leaving. It's up to 19,150. So let's hope that continues. And more importantly, that it lasts until Monday so that the miners can get some benefit out of it. So I hope everybody has a great weekend. Thanks again. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next video. And we'll see you next Friday at the next live stream. For those of you who are members, I will see you Tuesday at the member live stream. Thanks again. Have a great weekend.